A very good evening. From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. I'm Vidushni Sadis Kumar.
And I am Dishan Veerakone, and here are your headlines for tonight.
Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that it is a matter of honour for Sri Lanka to withdraw from the co-sponsorship of the Geneva Human Rights Commission resolution. The Infectious Disease Unit confirms that the two Sri Lankans returning from Italy were not infected with the coronavirus. A guarantee from the army commander regarding the security of the country. Today is the day of those who celebrate their birthdays once in 4 years.
In your local stories this evening, a meritorious ceremony to present the Sri Sannas Patra to Chief Incumbent of the Situlpawa Rajamaha Viharya, Venerable Mataramba Hemaratna Nayaka Thera, who has been appointed as the Upadhyaya at the Mangala Upushtagare of the Malwatu chapter and Chief Sanganayaka of Dakshina Lanka. The event was presided over by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The ceremony was held at the Yatagala Rajamaha Viharya in Unavatunagol. Venerable Mataramba Hemaratna Nayaka Thera was conferred the Nayaka position at the Malwatu Viharya, Mangala Upushtagare on the 22nd of this month. On this occasion, the Sannas Patra on the new appointment was read by Venerable Rambukwala Suddas Thera of the Malwatu Mahaviharya. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has presented the Sri Sannas Patra to the Venerable Thera. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has handed over the Vijayapatra. Venerable Mataramba Hemaratna Thera has delivered special souvenirs to the President and the Prime Minister. The Mahasangha, including Most Venerable Dr. Ittapana Dhammalankara Mahanayaka Thera and Anunayaka of the Malwata chapter, Venerable Niyangoda Vichasiri Thera and Minister Ramesh Patrina have also attended the ceremony. Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has recalled how the Venerable Nayaka Thera had committed himself to secure safety to the devotees at a time when the Situlpawa premises was engulfed with the threat of terrorism. He further said that at the presidential election in November last year, a massive communal conspiracy had been waged. It was the Mahasangha who had reversed the drawback. The Prime Minister further said that the forest bhikkhus have come out for the first time to cast their votes in order to ward off the threat posed on the country. The objective of the Mahasangha is to safeguard the Buddha Dhamma and the nation from the menace that could take place in future. The Prime Minister also said that in the present Parliament, the power lies with the opposition. Due to the 19th Amendment, the opportunities to engage in development and to assist religious institutions had been thwarted.
Meanwhile, the Infectious Diseases Unit of the Ministry of Health has confirmed that the two Sri Lankans who arrived from Italy and admitted to the IDH hospital were not afflicted with the coronavirus. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has warned that the coronavirus infection has reached a more dangerous level worldwide. The WHO also believes that there are still opportunities to prevent a global infectious pandemic through controlling the disease at this stage. The two Sri Lankans who arrived from Italy were admitted to the IDH yesterday to determine whether they were afflicted. However, Director of the National Infectious Diseases Unit, Specialist Physician Dr. Hasida Attanayaka told the national television that they were not infected with the COVID-19 disease. The Minister of Health says a constant vigilance is maintained on all persons returning from countries where coronavirus diseases has spread. Any person showing any similar disease characteristics are being subjected to hospital checkups. The Infectious Disease Institute says that 9 more persons have been hospitalized in this connection.
Are taking preventative measures to control the spread.
Well, as the world prepares for a feared coronavirus pandemic, more new cases, or other countries reported their first cases, and many originating from Italy and Iran. Lucy filled the reports.
As the world prepares for a coronavirus pandemic, countries on 3 continents reported their first cases on Friday, and panic crashed world stock markets again, wiping out $6 trillion in their first week since the 2008 global financial crisis. It's all-shattering hopes that the epidemic that started in China late last year would wrap up in a few months and life would return to normal. This closed garment factory in Myanmar a sign of how many ordinary people could be hit by closures and quarantines. The good news, mainland China reported the lowest number of new coronavirus cases in more than a month, 327. But the outbreak that is easing in China is surging elsewhere. An Italian man was Nigeria's first case, and a person who returned from Iran became the first confirmed infection on New Zealand's shores.
The individual is in their 60s.
In Eastern Europe, Belarus and Lithuania reported their first cases. Italy remains Europe's worst hit country, with at least 17 deaths and over 650 infections confirmed so far. The World Health Organization, until now resisting calling it a pandemic, says the crisis has, quote, pandemic potential, but that this is a time for action, not fear. In South Korea, the largest epicenter outside China for the illness, a church at the heart of the country's outbreak is demanding an end to the backlash against its followers, saying it had provided full information to the authorities. More than half of South Korea's cases are linked to a branch of the church in the southeastern city of Daegu. Governments everywhere are also moving to contain the virus. Japan's Shinzo Abe shocked parents by closing all schools from Monday until the new academic year starts in early April. Tokyo Disneyland is to close for a couple of weeks to try to prevent the spread of the virus as gatherings and big events everywhere come under scrutiny. Geneva's car show was one high-profile cancellation Friday. A Chinese official said some recovered patients had been found to be still infectious, suggesting the epidemic could be even harder to eradicate.
Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said Sri Lankans were honoured for being able to withdraw from co-sponsorship of the Geneva Human Rights Commission. The minister made these remarks upon arrival in the island, ending a Human Rights Commission session today. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has arrived in Sri Lanka this afternoon upon conclusion of the 43rd session of the Human Rights Council in Geneva. A large gathering, including public representatives, were present at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake to welcome the minister. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that it has been a special occasion for the Sri Lankan people to declare the position of the Sri Lankan government at the session of the United Nations Human Rights Commission in Geneva. The minister further said that they have been able to express in very clear terms on the Sri Lanka's withdrawal from the betrayed co-sponsorship proposal that had been entered into the previous regime. He also said that many countries have extended their solidarity with Sri Lanka regarding the action taken by the country. The minister, after arrival, has called upon the Mahasangha head of the Dharmaratana Bauddha Lokamavata Colombo, Venerable Ale Gunawansa Thera, and received blessings.
Now, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, who is the leader of the Sri Lanka delegation to the 43rd session of the UN Human Rights Council, has met UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Michelle Bachelet yesterday. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has reiterated on this occasion the decision of the government of Sri Lanka to withdraw from the co-sponsorship of Resolution 40/1 and the basis for doing so. The minister has recalled that 1 year ago his predecessor, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, had also pointed out a number of areas in the resolution that were undeliverable. Notwithstanding the withdrawal from co-sponsorship, he has emphasized that the government's commitment to achieving accountability and human rights within the framework of the Constitution towards sustainable peace and reconciliation through the appointment of a domestic commission of inquiry. High Commissioner Bachelet has thanked Minister Gunawardena for his participation in the segment of the HRC. He has also appreciated the Sri Lanka government's assurance to the HRC of its continued cooperation with the Office of the High Commissioner and UN bodies and the observations on the Office of Missing Persons and the Office for Reparations.
Well, Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva says that the security of the country has been established at the maximum extent. He made these remarks to the media after a ceremony in Kandy today. Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva said the President normally convenes the Security Council once a week and discusses on the security of the country. He added that the security of the country is at the maximum level and the President always looks into the issue. In addition, he said that the Defence Secretary conducts talks on security every week. Well, in other stories, the police says that 7 or more persons die every day due to motor accidents. The tragedy that underlies these incidents is that most of the victims are in the productive ages. Well, several deadly road accidents have been reported from many parts of the island in the past few days. A large number of casualties have been reported. It has also been pointed out that relatives of the affected families are also being subjected to severe torment due to these accidents. According to the statistics of the police department, 3,154 persons were killed in 2017. Majority of the victims amounting to 1,023 were motorcyclists. 959 pedestrians had also been killed. In the year 2018, 3,151 persons had lost their lives in 2,994 road accidents. More 1,000 victims of these disasters were motorcyclists. According to police reports, 2,839 persons were killed in 2,605 road accidents last year. It has been pointed out that excessive number of vehicles, inappropriate maintenance of the road network, disregard of traffic rules and negligence of pedestrians are the main reasons for road accidents. Around 95% of the victims killed in three-wheeler and motorcycles related accidents are the youth between the ages of 15 and 35 years. And also psychiatrist counsellor senior medical officer at the Apeksha Hospital Maharagama, Dr. Anra Vitharana.
Meanwhile, the recommended names of the 16th Raigam Telly's Awards presentation ceremony was declared in Colombo yesterday. The names of 43 artists of the national television has been recommended for this year's ceremony. The Kingdom of Raigam Institute annually organizes the awards presentation with the objective of bringing out a high-quality television media culture. The highest number of 17 names have been recommended for the teledrama section, in addition to the 5 other divisions: children, sports, education, documentary and magazines. A significant feature has been that the national television, representing 43 of the recommended names out of the total number of 114 awards, are being presented under 7 stages. Veteran cinematologist Sumitra Piris and veteran actress Leonie Kotalavala and veteran maestro musician Manoj Piris are scheduled to be felicitated with the Pratibha Prabha Honorary Award, presented only once in a lifetime. The awards presentation ceremony will take place on the 21st of next month at the Nelumpakuna Theatre in Colombo.
A meritorious ceremony to declare the historic Vagegoda Rankot Malupurana Rajamaha Viharaya as a sacred site was held today under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The ceremony was held at the Sitagama Lane Rajamaha Viharaya with the participation of the chief incumbent of the Viharaya, Anu Nayaka, Venerable Agaragoda Piyasiri Thera and several other Viharadipati Theras. A foundation stone was laid for the construction of an Aukana Buddha statue at the Vagegoda Rankot Malupurana Rajamaha Viharaya by Nama Rajapaksa. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said at this occasion that a special program will be implemented for the development of viharas with lesser facilities. The Prime Minister has also attended the occasion to declare open a newly constructed Vihara Mandirya at the Bodhi Rukkarama Viharaya in Kulasinga Gama, Agunukula Palassa.
Now, a pilot refuse decompose project planned to be implemented at the garbage yard in Veyangoda Gampa has been halted today due to public protest. Under the project, garbage was subjected to be decayed without mixing with any chemical. The pilot project has been implemented with the objective of speedy decomposition of garbage piled at dumping yards of local government institutions. Parliamentarian Venerable Athuraliya Rathanathera is in charge of the project under the instructions of the President. Reuse being collected in several local government institutions in the Gampaha area is daily disposed to the Veyangoda garbage yard.
කියනවා නම් බලන්න කුඹුර යායවල දැන් තුනක් තියෙනවා. එකක්වත් වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ. වැස්ස දවස්වලට අන්න අතන අර බලන්න ගලාගෙන ඇවිල්ලා පාරේ තියෙන. කුණු ගොඩට දිලීර ගහලා අරවා මේවා කතන්දර කරනවා කියන්නේ තව තව මේ මිනිස්සයා තව තව කියනවා කියන එකනේ. අපි ගම්මු වශයෙන් විරුද්ධයි.
කෑම කන්න බෑ. පුංචි ළමයින්ට හුස්ම ගන්න බෑ. ළමයි ගේ ඇතුළට රිංගගෙන බොම අපහසුයෙන් තමයි ඉන්නේ ගඳයි කියලා.
Venerable Athuraliya Rathana Thera said he has decided to halt the project by heeding to the protest of the residents. The Venerable Thera further said that there are 3 paddy fields surrounding the location. None of them could be cultivated due to the fact of the flowing of garbage into the fields during rainy days. The Venerable Thera also said that the residents could not bear the awful smell emanating from the garbage field.
UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe has presided over a meeting of the party activists in Mathura today. The event has been organised by parliamentarian Mangala Samaravira. UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe said that a parliament which is able to provide relief and to build a strong economy should be set up. He added that the next parliament should also be able to safeguard freedom. UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe also said that they will contest the upcoming parliamentary election as an alliance. He also said that they should not forget the fact that it was the UNP that had safeguarded the country from difficult situations since the year 1947. Tabletop exercise organised by the 4th Fast Track Flotilla under the theme of Conquering Threats to Collaboration was held at the dockyard in Trincomalee recently. Commander Eastern Naval Area Rear Admiral Ruan Pereira has graced the event as chief guest. The aim of TTX 2020 was to provide opportunities for participants to understand and respond to various contingencies, integration of capabilities, problem identification with suitable solutions and enhancing knowledge of youth officers. Representatives of Sri Lankan Navy, Coast Guard, Police, Narcotic Bureau and Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources have attended the event, and the concerned objectives of the 2-day exercise were on illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing as a serious threat to the sustainability of the fisheries, eradicating the narcotic peril from the country, the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea.
Now, a workshop of media participation on environmental sustainability was held at the lecture hall number 3 of the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute in Colombo 7 yesterday. Attention has been focused on this occasion to promote the green concept and to utilize cooperation of the media to fulfill this objective. It has also been pointed out on this occasion the urgent need to find realistic solutions to the rapidly increasing environmental disputes. The event has been organised by the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. Resources persons at this occasion were Professor Sarath Kotagam of the Colombo University, Secretary to the Ministry of Urban Development Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, Professor Mahiguru Samarakon of the Sri Jayawardhanapura University, External Lecturer of the Faculty of Law Studies at the Sri Lanka Open University, Attorney at Law Ruwan Harishchandra and the Director of the Sri Lanka Green Building Council Lionel Navagamua.
US Ambassador in Sri Lanka, Elena B. Teplitz, has visited the South Asia's only mangrove museum located in Pambala Lagoon in Chilau recently. There are 22 species of special mangroves in Sri Lanka. 17 out of these varieties are found in the Pambala Lagoon. Authorities has reiterated of the need to safeguard the biodiversity of the beautiful environment. The US envoy upon arrival was welcomed by the head of the Kadulana Resource Centre, Anuradha Wickremesinghe, and the officials. Ambassador Teplitz was briefed on the significant importance of the mangrove environmental system in the country.
Really enjoyed my visit to the Mangrove Conservation Center. I've learned how important the mangroves are to Sri Lanka and the future of communities here. I learned that there are 22 different species, and I got to see about 17 of them in the lagoon just behind me. what a really wonderful experience. And the work that has been done, that has been community oriented, supported by Americans of their own initiative to help worldwide with preserving mangroves, just a wonderful thing to see. The replanting effort has been huge and successful. I think for school children and others across the country, this is a must-see place to better understand the unique biodiversity of Sri Lanka, such a beautiful island and such a precious treasure in its mangroves.
The ambassador, after inspecting the museum, has planted a mangrove plant named Xylocarpus grantum. She was also engaged in a tour to observe mangrove systems in the Pambala Lagoon.
Today, the 29th of February, is a special day that dawns once in every 4 years. A year with such a special day of 366 days is called a leap year. This narrative is how such a leap year was originated. It takes the Earth 365 days to travel one round around the Sun. This is a common agreement reached according to the conventional calendar. However, the scientists have found out that actually the Earth needs 365.242 days to complete a single journey around the Sun. Accordingly, the most appropriate time for the Earth's circle around the Sun is 365.25 days. It is not practicable to add this additional time of 0.25 in a traditional calendar. Therefore, it has become a customary practice to add the 0.25 and declare a single day once in every 4 years. A special feature of those who are born today is that they have to wait another 4 years to celebrate their next birthday.
Welcome back. Well, in your sports news now, the concluding ceremony of the Police Interdivision Athletic Tournament was held at the police grounds in Bambalapitiya yesterday. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was the chief guest on this occasion. The three-day competition conducted for the 83rd occasion was comprised of several track and field events. More than 4,000 competitors representing 60 police divisions have attended the event. The President was welcomed by Defence Secretary, retired Major General Kamal Gunaratne and Acting IGP C.D. Vikramaratne. The President was accorded a guard of honour at the welcoming ceremony. The Police Field Task Force Headquarters has won the overall championship of the tournament. The runners-up were the Prime Ministerial Defence Division, and the Acting IGP has presented a special souvenir to the President. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa was among those who have attended.
ජනාධිපතිතුමා වෙත විශේෂ සමරු තිලිනයක්ද වැඩබලන පොලිස්පතිවරයා විසින් පිළිගන්නු ලැබුවා. මේ අවස්ථාවට අමාත්‍ය චමල් රාජපක්ෂ මහතා ඇතුළු ආරාධිත විශාල පිරිසක් එක්ව සිටියා.
And now that's a wrap of tonight's primetime news. Until we meet again next time, do take care and good night.
Good night.